We just got some news last night, and when I found out about this, I was just like, here we go again. Now, in the past, we have covered brothers they have found hanging from trees, hanging from, highways, like the time that happened to that brother in the Atlanta area. Now, if any of you have saw the interview when we interviewed Danye Jones' mother, Melissa McKinnis, maybe about a year or two ago in St. Louis, and you remember that story that she found her son in the backyard hanging from a tree, and they used Navy knots to do it. Now, Danye didn't do that to himself, but anytime that our brother is found lynched, they say, oh yeah, it's a suicide. And if you look up any of the statistics of how black men, which are one of the lowest groups to commit suicide, if they do anything like that, they do it by taking pills or some sort of medication. They don't do it by gunshot wounds as often. They do it by pills. But once again, we are black people, the lowest group in America that commits suicide, because the life we live, we should all be thinking that, right? The way we can't even live like a human being. But this young brother by the name of Robert Fuller, he was found Wednesday morning, June the 10th, around 3:20 a.m. So he was hanging from a tree at the Ponce Square, which is located in the civic area of the Palmdale City Hall. Now, they say upon emergency personnel arriving on the scene, they found the young brother deceased hanging from the tree in the square right across from the LA County Fire Station 37. And nobody heard anything, because usually at fire stations, that's usually manned 24/7. Usually nobody heard screams, nobody heard yells, nobody heard a struggle, anything. So they said no details was put out there by the Palmdale Sheriff Station, as the death remains under investigation. Now, of course, they say anyone that has any kind of information to call the LA County Sheriff's Department, Palmdale Station. Or they say you can do Crime Stoppers doing 1-800-222-TIPS, or you can also download and use an app called P3 Mobile app in Google Play or App Store if you want to report any kind of information. Now, they do have a GoFundMe to support the family that's going on right now. Now, what I done, once I found out about the young sister who is the sister of this young brother, I contacted her on Facebook, and I wanted to see if she would like to come on the show and let's talk about this, because of course they're not trying to talk about Robert Fuller. We know good and well this is a lynching. We know this. Young black men don't do this to themselves. They don't at all. We know this. And once again, the police department know good and well this is a lynching, but they are complicit because a lot of them are part of that racist clan anyway. We know that. We just covered a story on African Diaspora News Insider channel. We had the Salem police going up to the white supremacists, telling them how to move around and not get arrested when they start enforcing the curfew. They work hand in hand. So you think that they're going to actually investigate themselves or investigate their buddies that's out here killing black men, because you have to understand, they want to take out revenge because of all this statue toppling and all these laws are starting to get changed. Oh yeah, they mad. They want to strike back. So of course, this doesn't surprise me to see this happen. Now, the sister had typed, words can't describe how much my family is hurting right now. Today, we just got word that Robert's body was found hanging in a tree out in Palmdale. There's still an investigation. If anyone see anything, please come forward. Brother, you will be forever in our heart, RIP. If you have any credible information, I would say if you tell the police about it, make sure you put it on social media too, because they'll take it from you and try to make it disappear or whatever. Remember, they try to cover their buddies. Every time we have done these stories, not one time have any of them came back and said, yep, this was an actual lynching. We know it is. They have never came back and said that. Not once. But we as black people know the MO of the white supremacists. I know many of you, we talked about this on Instagram. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. It's African Diaspora News. We talked about this on Instagram. Many of you was upset, angry, hurt. But this is what we deal with here in America. We're under siege as black people, dealing with anti-black racism and terrorism. This is what we're dealing with in this country. This is why I always advocate for us to unify. No matter where you come from, if you black in this country, you better unify with your people. Don't be put in a position where you become a soft target. Like the other brother that was in Iowa when those white supremacists, and we covered that, jumped him. And they were trying to drag him to that river and drown him. You brothers can't be out there by yourself, not tooled up at least. You don't have no tool on you. And you walking out there by yourself 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You got to make sure that you are in an environment to protect yourself. We also need to practice your Second Amendment rights. You need to. Because if you in an area, especially where the white supremacists are very heavy, and I was told Palmdale, California, there's a lot of white supremacists, especially the police are heavily race soldiers, from what I was told. I've never been to Palmdale, but that's what people say that's from there. So we want to know what happened. And we need to make sure to keep putting this out here because they're trying to bury this. Trust me, they would have buried George Floyd if they could have. But it's going to take the real media, us. We are the real media. When y'all tweeting CNN and all these other ones, no, they follow the cues of what we say now. You have to understand that. So all of you who have a social media platform, the biggest ones to the ones that just getting started, don't matter. All our voices are important. Nobody's voice is more important than others. Trust me on that. Let people know what's going on with Robert Fuller. You have the GoFundMe at the bottom down there. You can contribute. They hit their goal, but it doesn't matter. Let's contribute anyway, because this family going to really need some help. This family going to need definitely another autopsy, if anything, because, you can't trust these folks. Because you look at what they tried to say about George Floyd. Oh, his pre-existing conditions are the reason why he died, not because of the cop's knee on his neck. So we can't trust nothing these people say. You got to get an independent everything. They need independent investigators. Because good and well, this guy, I want to know, how was his body position? Did he have his hands behind his back? Did he have his pants rolled down? Because they do a certain thing with it. They either tie your hands behind your back or in front and they roll your pants down. Because when they found Kanye, he had his pants pulled down. Because, these sickos, man, like I said, trust me, if I was on my website right now, I would be going a different route in this conversation. But I'm on YouTube. I have to play the rules. But make sure to let people know about Robert Fuller. Let people know this brother cannot be forgotten, because this is just more why people need to get out there and continue to push, continue to demand an end to white supremacy, because white supremacy is terrorism. OK, I've said this before, and this story is just more proof of terrorism, because, good and well, if this was happening in anyone else's country, America would be like, oh, they are so violent to their citizens. The government don't do anything. They need to be liberated. They need to do this. They need regime change. They're all the things they've been saying about other people. Right. But people throughout the world that watch this video, this is what black people go through. This is what we go through. And the solidarity is great. It is great. And we appreciate that. But it's not going to stop at George Floyd. Unfortunately, I wish it would stop at George Floyd. But these people are rotten to the core, corrupt to the core. They want to listen. They fighting and mad about statues dedicated to pedophiles, rapists, enslavers, thieves. That's what they're trying to fight and hold on to. Military bases with names of these people. That's what they're fighting for. They're fighting for the filth. So you fighting for filth. I mean, with something that somebody want to throw away out their history. They don't want nobody to know about that crap. They want to talk about the good things, which they normally don't really talk about anything good. But most people want to talk about the good in their history, not the bad, right? This is what we're dealing with in America. So when they say protect yourself, open your eyes, code up, practice Second Amendment rights, that's what they're talking about. Having your level 4 protection, keeping your head on the swivel, watching people, watching doors, watching all kinds of things. You got to keep your eyes open at all times, brothers and sisters. You have to stay ready at all times. You can't get comfortable. Now here in America, you can't. Now, for me personally, I'm gonna tell you my personal experience. I felt the safest I've ever felt is anytime I'm on the continent of Africa. I feel very safe there. Here, no, it's game time at any time you being black in America. I don't see how you even get comfortable here like that. I can't. I'm always watching, because at any moment, any of us, if we don't watch it, we can end up like this. But this brother definitely needs justice, and they get away with this because the police assist them to get away with that. Always remember that the police is the one that's assisting these white supremacists to get away with it. They're always a suicide, and nobody say nothing. No FBI investigation, no nothing. Why is it in any of these cases the FBI never comes in? They hurry up and try to get it underneath the rug and say, yeah, it's a suicide, because they are complicit. Remember, when I interviewed Melissa McKinnis, she said that the cops were back there laughing. They were laughing when they was taking the body down off of the tree. They were laughing about it, and they wanted the bed sheet that they used to tie Navy knots to hang the brother. They wanted that. They didn't want to give it to them for their own forensics, to do it for themselves, because they usually like to keep a trophy, if you know the history of when they kill a black man. And trust me, I would love to say that was the past of America, but that's still here today. Those people are still roaming around today. And you have those same people on police departments, those same people, DAs, judges. This whole system is rotten to the core. That's why we got to push a fundamental change in America. And you better get you a place in the continent of Africa too, or the Caribbean, or you want to be in Latin America, is fine too, because you need a place that have a refuge at least. You got to think that way. Now, if you don't want to be that kind of person, that's you. I'm not going to keep trying to convince you, but I'm talking to the people who in the back of their mind know that's what they should be doing. That's the people I'm talking to, because this is not life, man. This is not life.